Welcome to my factory floor. I guess factory floor for my other channel. I'm thinking, at least, thinking out loud. I was thinking maybe I just don't have the heart to do a tag video for my next video because the last video I did on that channel was a tag video, and tagged videos are very community-ish videos, but community-ish in a way where you just talk about yourself. But I mean, who am I fooling? It'll be my channel. I'll be talking about myself. Um, what I thought I would talk about though is do like a comment section video where I talk about various videos that I have seen in the last while, since I did my last one. Of course, as is the nature of these things, a lot of the examples that come to my mind are Rick McDonald, Canadian Rick, who just talked about his father. It was in the context of a book review where actually I'd have to go back and look at the book, but it was about his father being in an accident and suffering a really devastating brain injury where he basically had to rebuild his personality and grow up again. And as a result, he sort of grew up with his father. And that was a video that really struck home with a lot of people, myself being one of them. Really got me. Have to think about how I'll talk about that because I'm married to someone who suffered a brain injury, and I don't know if I should have to talk to Ja about that and see how she feels about me sharing that with her. Obviously, it did not destroy her personality. It didn't fundamentally change her personality. It changed her capacity, and it changed her life course in a lot of ways, in a big way. And it sort of changed our choices in life, I guess, as a couple. None of which I regret. But yeah, so I was thinking about maybe I would reflect on that with that. Maybe go back and actually check and see what the book was, because I can't even remember that because I was so blown away by his own personal story on that. Just so I re-highlight that, because when I gave a comment in his thing, I didn't probably I didn't it was so much about the personal story and how it affected me personally that I didn't think about, oh, what was the book he was talking about there. It was a fictional book about somebody who was also suffering, had a loved one who suffered from a brain injury, just how profound that can be. So yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about doing one on just saying that Sean the Book Maniac and the Mayberry Books guy had a really good fruitful exchange about posthumous books and the merit or the demerits of the posthumous book. And Sean coming from a very kind of specific example with Pym. What's her name? Pym. Look that up. Whereas Mayberry Books fellow was definitely taking a look at it as the wider view of just all literature and saying that 99% of literature shouldn't be saved, should just get burned. And it does. It gets burned in the flame of time. But that one really strikes something like Kafka, something like there's a fairly number of notable exceptions, but really Mayberry's point was that the whole big point of it is that the literature that lasts is the exception, and that was really good. That was a really good thing, and also just sort of a good reminder of a ton of literature gets produced every year. A vanishingly small amount of that will make the jump for 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, much less the next generation, much less the next century. It gets smaller and smaller. and that's not as Steve Donahue talked about, like, the merciless thing of books getting just lost, but just we don't care about them, and they don't get preserved, or they just rot in libraries. Even if they are preserved, they're not read. If a book isn't read, is it a book? That kind of an idea. So yeah, there's that. Um, I might rewatch Brian's take on maybe Midrash, um, and his struggle with kind of the idea of faith, and just not him coming from a very much of a thing of not being able to make that leap, um, which and there's something in that of the idea of a lot of times I just feel like faith is besides the point. Like it's something that seems to be pretty absent from my life. Um, Other than, the faith that you kind of have to keep on living. You have to make your own meaning in this world, and find your own enjoyments, and that kind of a faith. I don't believe in a higher deity. Got no strong opinions on it really, one way or the other. It's just not something that's really. It's not imaginatively there in my brain, um, which is maybe why I didn't go into maybe Midrash. I mean, I didn't do that, but also because I'm still reading Mirror in the Light, which, I mean, it's got a lot to do with people of faith really going hammer and tongs at each other, um, and there maybe being not having that faith makes that a little bit of. I'm starting to have troubles with a little bit of endurance with that, not having a horse in the game, even though I very much historically, I have a Catholic mother, and my mother side of the family is very much Catholic. My father's side was very much Protestant. So you would think I would, but I don't. I am. They melded, and they were presented with a thoroughly atheist fellow like myself. Um, so yeah, those are three things: Rick, maybe Midrash, and the middle thing, which was posthumous books. Um, I might look for number four. Go back and look at. I did every once in a while toss stuff in my comment section thing, like, oh, I can't leave a comment on it, but I could make a comment video on that. So I think I might try that. Yeah. All right. So that's long and rambly and kind of a rehearsal to something that I may put together in the week coming up. Sorry about the jog. Not that anyone's watching this, and no one has to comment on it. And we'll see if anything comes of it, or if that was my entire comment video right there, which is for no one. Though the thing about the comment section videos is I actually do feel like I'm talking to people with that. So yes, we'll go from there.